The Petroleum Authority of Uganda, PAU, has asked Ugandans to patiently wait for the country's first ever oil well production, expected to begin in the second half of 2026. The authority has revealed that the legal processes and frameworks are underway and will soon be finalized, enabling full oil production.
First oil just means that oil will be pumped out of the ground for the first time. That's what first oil really means. And as you will appreciate, that is only an event among the chain of activities that have been happening. So, whereas the first drop of oil coming out of the ground is important because the country now starts looking at the revenues that are going to come, you will appreciate that for us as a regulator, even when the first drill rig came to the field and started drilling a well, that was a milestone.
Speaking during a media briefing, PAU Executive Director Ernest Rubondo highlighted the progress made since the authority's inception 10 years ago.
Very excited in the Petroleum Authority of Uganda this year, and we work in top gear because in this year, the authority marks 10 years of regulating Uganda's oil and gas sector. And this is a big milestone. I know that there are many institutions that are more than 10 years, but I think the speed at which things have been going in the sector, I can assure you that regulating the sector for 10 years is a big milestone.
He noted that the final investment decision in 2022 unlocked the engineering, procurement, and construction phase for the country's flagship petroleum projects, Tilenga Petroleum Project at 60% completion, Kingfisher Project at 74%, and East African Crude Oil Pipeline at 75%.
This process is going well. I gave you the percentages of where Kingfisher is, where Tilenga is, and where the East African Crude Oil Pipeline is. So what the Petroleum Authority of Uganda is doing is regulating so that the remaining components of the work that is required in order for the oil to be produced and moved and processed are in place. Now this often requires increment of people on some of the activities. This often requires bringing on additional companies to complete the processes faster. So the Petroleum Authority of Uganda is looking at everything that needs to be in place before first oil and ensuring that it is indeed in place.
The construction phase of these projects is now at its peak, with commercial production of first oil expected in the second half of 2026. Since its inception, PAU has played a critical role in the growth and development of Uganda's oil and gas sector, ensuring that resources are protected, developed sustainably, and managed transparently for the benefit of all Ugandans. The authority has regulated the sector along 5 key areas: resource management, cost management, data management, environment, health and safety management, and national participation.
If we start with resource management, now I know that for many people, resource management means many things. It can be human resource, it can be financial resource, but the resource management we mean here is oil and gas resource management. We have had Uganda's petroleum resources increased, and the increase was that the oil in place increased from 6.5 billion barrels slightly to 6.6 billion barrels. And the recoverable resources, which you can get out of the ground, increased from 1.4 billion to 1.65 billion barrels. This increase was a result of improved understanding of the oil and gas discoveries in the Albertine Graben. The country did not find another oil field to add on to this, but instead, the work that is being done on these oil fields to prepare them for production is what led to an improved understanding of the oil fields, And this improved understanding led to the increase of the volumes of oil that are in the country.
PAO has also established a state-of-the-art data center and invested in an off-site disaster recovery solution to facilitate business continuity.
The data center holds over 60 terabytes of electronic data, and it hosts thousands of physical data, and the physical data are really geosamples. And the volume of data in this data center has continued to grow over the last 10 years as the country implemented the ongoing preparation for production. Third aspect, which is cost efficiency and economic analysis. The authority is responsible for ensuring that the operations which are undertaken by the licensed oil companies and their contractors are cost efficient. This is extremely important because the investments and the operational costs which the licensed oil companies are incurring are going to be recovered from an allocation of a portion of the crude oil that will be produced.
The authority had invested $11.11 billion by the end of 2025, with $1.9 billion and $2.49 billion invested in 2023 and 2024 respectively.
And I want to say state of the art, and I think those of you who have been to the field will agree with me that these waste management facilities that have been put in the Albertine Graben are really state of the art at an international scale. These facilities include thermal desorption units, which are not common parts of the waste management systems. Out of the $7 billion United States of contracts which the companies have submitted for review and approval by the authority, and which the authority has approved, 2.2 billion of these contracts were awarded to Ugandan companies. This is close to 30% of the money invested being taken to Ugandan companies. And I can share with you that many countries around the world did not even talk about national participation until after starting production of oil. So it's good that Uganda has begun this journey of participation of Ugandans well before even the oil comes out of the ground. So this is value that is coming to the Ugandans even before first oil.
As Uganda prepares for first oil production, PAO will focus on key areas, including oil and gas production, exploration of additional oil, and regulation of petroleum commodity transportation. Nagujja Serena, NSTV.